Hi everyone, it's Tatyana from Tatyana's Everyday Food and welcome back to my kitchen. So on my last macaron video recipe, I asked you guys what flavor you would like to see next. And today I picked tiramisu. I thought it'd be such a great idea to recreate those amazing flavors. So today I'm going to be making a vanilla bean and coffee flavored macaron, and I'm going to make a really creamy, delicious coffee and amaretto flavored filling. Let's get started and I'll show you guys how to make these amazing tiramisu macarons. I'm gonna get started on my dry ingredients first. I measured out 120 grams of almond flour and 200 grams of confectioner sugar. I'm gonna add the almond flour and confectioner sugar into my food processor. And I'm gonna give this a whirl for a few minutes. I've transferred my flour and sugar mixture into a fine mesh sifter, and I'm gonna sift the mixture into a large bowl. You just wanna make sure you don't have any clumps. I have some larger almond flour clumps remaining in my sifter. I'm going to toss these back into the food processor, give them another whirl, and then sift them through again. And now I'm going to get started on my meringue. I've measured out 100 grams. It's about 3 extra large egg whites, and I'm going to place them into my mixer bowl. And to my egg whites, I'm going to be adding 50 grams of white granulated sugar. I'm going to turn my mixer up on high speed, and I'm going to whisk the egg whites and sugar together until I get stiff and glossy peaks. For this recipe, I wanted to add some vanilla flavor without using vanilla extract to add more moisture to the batter. So I've scraped out the inside of a vanilla bean. What you want to do is just split it in half and then take a knife and then just scrape out all those vanilla beans, and I'm going to add them into my cookie batter. I'm going to add those vanilla beans on top of my meringue, and then I'm going to add in my dry ingredients. So I'm just going to take my spatula, scrape down through the bottom of the bowl, and then press the meringue against the side of my bowl to get everything mixed together. You want to mix and fold your batter until it reaches the lava stage. And for this, I just scrape my batter from the bottom of the bowl and just press it against the side of the bowl to deflate my meringue until it reaches that lava stage. And what that means is when you pick up the batter with your spatula, it's going to fall back down into the bowl and it's going to settle back down on itself within 10 to 15 seconds. So this batter is all done, and I'm going to transfer it into a pastry bag. I've lined a few baking sheets with parchment paper, and now I'm ready to pipe my macarons. So you want to leave a little space between each one. Just pipe little dollops onto your parchment paper. And if you need to, you could draw guides on the back of your parchment paper using a small lid. And before I allow my macarons to set, I'm going to sprinkle the top of the cookies with some instant coffee granules. So just sprinkle them over the top. It's going to add some of that nice coffee flavor to the cookies. I've lined my kitchen counter with a towel, and now I'm going to tap my pan against the counter a few times to release any air bubbles that might be trapped in our cookie batter. And now I'm just going to allow my cookies to set at room temperature for about 30 to 45 minutes until a thin shell forms on the outside. All right, my cookies have been standing at room temperature for about 45 minutes, and they formed a nice thin shell on the outside of the cookie, and now they're ready to go into the oven. So I have mine preheated to 320 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to bake them for about 15 minutes. After taking my macarons out of the oven, I let them cool on the baking sheet for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to peel them carefully right off the paper. I'm going to set them onto a cooling rack to cool completely. And if your macarons are not coming off of your parchment paper this easily, that means that they're underbaked. You want to go ahead and place them back into the oven and bake them for a few more minutes until they're all done. And while my macarons are cooling, I'm going to get started on my cream cheese filling. So I've softened 8 ounces of cream cheese, and I'm going to drop that into my mixer bowl, along with half a cup of softened butter. And I'm going to mix the two together on high speed for about 5 to 7 minutes until I have a really light and fluffy mixture. To my whisked cream cheese and butter, I'm going to start adding in confectioner sugar. I'm going to add about 3 to 4 cups just until my filling is thick and creamy. Today we'll be adding a tablespoon of Disaronno Amaretto liqueur. If you don't want to add any alcohol to your recipe, you can replace this with 1 teaspoon of almond extract. You can measure out 1 tablespoon of the Disaronno, add that in. I am also going to add about half a teaspoon of instant coffee granules to add some coffee flavor to our filling. I'm just going to give this a quick mix and then we'll be ready to put our macarons together. And now it's time to put our cookies together. So I've turned half of them upside down and I've transferred my frosting into a pastry bag. I'm going to add a generous amount of filling onto each half. And then to put these together, all you have to do is sandwich the second half on top, just like that. Give it a little push to spread the filling evenly to the edges. And that is it from my tiramisu macarons. And that's it, guys, for my tiramisu macarons. So I recommend placing all of them into an airtight container and then into the refrigerator and allow them to mature for a few days. What's going to happen is the cookies are going to absorb all that moisture from that cream cheese filling and they're going to become just irresistibly good. With every bite, they're just going to melt in your mouth and that way you get the most flavor out of these cookies. Now, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting for a few days and I'm going to dig into one of these babies right away. These macarons are phenomenal. It's just like biting into a tiramisu dessert. You get that strong coffee flavor from the filling and the cookie. You get a light hint of amaretto from the cream cheese filling. And of course, that nice flavor of vanilla bean. These cookies are just phenomenal. If you're looking for a great macaron flavor, this tiramisu cookie is for you. It's definitely a top contender on my favorite list. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video recipe. If you do make these cookies, don't forget to share with me on Instagram. I love to see you guys' creations. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you next time.